Now, anytime you run a business, you're going to run into times when things are pretty quiet. You know, the off day where the rain or the weather has kept everybody away. It's Florida, it's raining right now. Or it could be more situational, just people just, things have gotten expensive and just people are not spending what they used to on whatever it is you're selling. Well, in this case, in the case of this shop, we are also hurt by the fact that we are in a seasonal state. Now, what that means is that states like Florida are pretty dependent on tourist traffic in order to make really good money. It means that somewhere, name a state in the middle of the United States. You're making consistent money throughout the year because traffic is always the same pretty much no matter what time of year it is. Places like Florida is seasonal, which means for half the year we're making fantastic money, and then the other half of the year we're making next to nothing. Because we're all just waiting for the temperatures to get cold, people to come back down, the snowbirds to return. The snowbirds who are the ones that, they have enough money kicking around to have a home where it's a home where it's nice in the summer and a home where it's nice in the winter. We wait on those people to come back. So until that happens, you just kind of sit back and you kind of go, well, how do I mitigate this? And, there's always things you can do. Promotional sales are a thing. Reorganizing and rearranging the shop is a good idea. Kind of change up the look a little bit, kind of freshen the place up. One of the things that you have to do, and one of the things I find myself doing lately when the place has been pretty quiet on all fronts, is just finding things to do. Because I don't like sitting around in this shop feeling like I'm getting paid to do nothing. So it's me just trying to find something to do. Because if I'm not making the shop money, I'm at least going to do something to improve the shop in general. So a lot of times that comes down to just rearranging shelves, figuring out new display options, basically just shaking the place up, essentially. But right now we've had the problem of our back room being completely overstocked. So my goal for the week, now that it's been, quiet and I actually have the time to do it, has been to go get the back room cleaned out. So the back room of a toy shop like this is kind of a scary place. There's the stuff that is always organized because it is the high demand stuff. Like our Pokemon cards have a pretty organized shelf arrangement in the back that we can always count on, where we keep things like hangers for the wall and shelving options. That's always in the same spot, so that's always kind of consistent. But then it's what happens to everything that doesn't make it out onto the shelves that gets really frightening. Because every time when we take in collections, it's almost never just a straight up normal collection of just one thing and it's all going to go out on the shelf. No, if someone is selling a toy collection, a lot of times they're going to do away with everything they can all at once, even if it's not something we particularly deal in, not even if it's something that we can't particularly use. It's just along for the ride. We may not have even made an offer on it, but the overall offer for what we wanted was enough for them to throw everything else in. So it's not uncommon for a shop like this to end up with a ton of stuff that is just completely random with no place to go. It's loose, it's half broken, but it's ours now. So you got to figure out something to do with it. I've got a whole massive plastic tub in the back that's full of old He-Man figures. And the first time when we got that in, my goal was just to try and piece as many back together, take an arm from here, take a head from here. Oh, this body armor is supposed to be on this figure. Trying to just get enough that could at least stand up and have a functioning gimmick and in order to be like, okay, this is okay to sell now. Not for much, but it's sellable. So a lot of it is making treasure out of trash, but there is plenty of trash in there. That bin of He-Man figures got me, we paid dirt cheap for it. It got me maybe about 15 figures that I could actually sell, and then a whole bunch where, the leg rubber has rotted off, the figure has leached a lot of plasticizers, so it's really tacky, a lot of paint damage, etc., etc. A lot of reasons why it's junk in the back. It's junk in the back, which is what a lot of collector shops like this have. You'll see a lot of it. A lot of people, a lot of shops like this deal with it just by putting it in bins. Hey, here, take it away for $1 type things. And you know what? There's some people who just need scrap parts for their He-Man toys. That kind of works. We don't really have the space for that. So it's kind of like just kind of wondering what you do. So you just start reshuffling, you start figuring it out, and you just make it work as well as you can. We have a space problem. So all I'm doing right now is reshuffling what I can and trying to make it work out as best as possible. But in doing that, it's basically opening up Pandora's box. There's all these things that emerge when you clear out the back room of this place, and you never know what it's going to be. Because, you deal in, hundreds of toys at a time, I can't keep track of everything that comes in, I can't remember it all. But there's just, this massive piles of stuff. So, common things. Like, we got a lot of these in the back. And these are just, Pokemon lunch boxes that used to have Pokemon cards in them, which are now completely empty. See, when Pokemon was really hard to get a hold of from our distributors, we would end up getting things like this, which weren't really that popular to purchase, but they did have valuable packs inside. So we would crack these things open, sell them by the pack, and then all the other loose stuff in here, stickers, the notepad, the mini binders, we basically just give that stuff away to kids, because at that point, we really can't sell that. We can't really sell these either. It's really just a fancy packaging at the end of the day. No one's, really after a Pokemon lunchbox with nothing in it. So it's, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that, just stuff that we kept a hold of just in case we could use it at some point and never really got around to it. Now, there's stuff that is just genuine treasures amongst the trash. Things I totally forgot we had that, we might actually be able to do something with. And part of that is because of the way this shop was created. This was created by a different person who owns it now. And the first guy, his whole thing was to set up shops, sell them, move on, and set up another shop somewhere else. So this is under different ownership now. So when we look at that, there's a lot of stuff from the first owner that I have no idea where he came across it, and I completely, entirely forget about it. Now, there's stuff that is actually relevant that I do know about. Here's a Cybertron Override I found in the back. I completely forgot we had this one, or she would have been in the review when I did the Velocitron one. No Cyber Key, but everything still works. She's all here. The joints actually work. She's sellable. I'll 3D print a Speedia key and just put her out, because why not, And there's actually, complete stuff. Here's a Prime Rumble out of nowhere. And this is actually not a bad figure at all. So, okay, now I got to figure out where he goes, how much he's worth. Here's a Titans Return Hot Rod. This even has the instructions and the card. This even has the card with it. Kind of crazy. And those will make their way out on the shelf at some point. Now, not everything. There's plenty of Transformers I found in these bins that are not ever going to make it to the floor. Broken Star Wars Transformers abound in there. We ended up with, I did find a Thrilling 30 Roadbuster, missing a bunch of his guns, but, the root of the figure still works, so we might do something with him. Actually, wasn't even the only Roadbuster I found. So here's the Target exclusive from Universe 2.0. I always hated the color scheme of this figure on this character. But you know what? Whatever. And here, Transmetal 2 Ramulus, anybody? The chrome is actually still in pretty good shape on him. I don't really see any cracking or flaking. I also don't see his horns, so don't really like go nuts over here. It's just random that a Beast Wars toy was in all these weird bundles. Like it's like so like him, he's missing a pretty vital part, so I don't know if he's gonna make it out on the floor or not. You know, or we might just try to find the horns and sell them. That's the other thing. It's like there's some things that we take in that are become projects. You know, I've got a Voltron that needs another wing on his back, so I might try to track one of those down. I've got an Ultra Magnus, which is a very blurry white and blue blob right there behind me, who is missing the pelvis piece, the chest piece, a helmet, and I believe his right fist. And if I could find all of that, I would call it complete enough to sell. So I'm kind of hoping for just the right listing on eBay to kind of fill in those specific gaps. And then if I happen to find any of the other parts cheap enough, yeah, we're into that cheap enough where like we can spend some money completing it and turn a profit once it's completely done. I'm just happy to have a vintage G1 transformer in here. I get so few of those in. But that's the standard stuff, and then you get like really random offbeat. This is the only loose Ninja Turtle that I found in the back. This little Space Raphael that's missing pretty much all of the parts that it could possibly be missing, and still call it unbroken. But I think I'd still call it broken, honestly. But yeah, things like that. Here's a spaceship. Here's a spaceship to a toy line from the 70s I don't even know. It's by Mattel. It's 1978 Universal City Studios, made in Hong Kong. So I don't know. I have no clue. My thought was Battlestar Galactica. I don't even know if the original Battlestar Galactica goes that far back. Like I'm not up on all of my 70s sci-fi. So, but it's back there. So I got to figure out what to do with it at some point. Here's something I actually get fairly common, and it's an unfortunate thing for it to be common: a boxed Star Wars toy with no figure inside. This is a pretty common thing for Star Wars collectors to do, to actually buy a vehicle and just all they want is the exclusive action figure for their ranks. So like I open this up and the toy, the actual speeder bike inside has not been touched. It's in perfect condition. It's still on the cardboard tray. All the accessory parts are still in their original wrapper, still tucked away in the exact same spot. Like they've done like they did nothing. All they did was open it up, take the figure, and resell this to a collector shop like ours. And it's just kind of hopped around until it found its way here. Weird things like that. And it's not the only time I've seen it. Obviously, like I said, it's pretty common for Star Wars collectors. I've seen like $200 figure. I've seen like $200 vehicles that had the exact same thing happen. Someone bought the vehicle, took the two pilots out of it, and sold it off. I don't know. Some people just wanted to complete their Imperial Army that badly. Found one random Hot Wheel. We didn't have which never got put out before because we never had a section for Hot Wheels. We do now, so now I can actually put it out. It's a little USS Vengeance from the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. Don't know if anyone's going to want it, but we can try. Spider-Man socks. Spider-Man socks. And really heavy socks, too. Like, not appropriate for Florida socks. I don't know. I have no apparel section in this store, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with Spider-Man socks here. I also don't know what I'm gonna do with Star Wars Episode 1, the Jar Jar Binks shaped puzzle. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So the whole idea, I've got like two more of these in the back. I've got like Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, I think. But the whole idea behind these is it's a puzzle of little scenes and images from the movie, but it's shaped like the character's head. But for some reason, they decided Jar Jar's eyes needed to stay intact. That's horrific. That's nightmare fuel. Just those two bug eyes just like peeking up over this scenic Star Wars imagery. I need to give this to someone. Like, someone once asked me, is like, what's the worst Star Wars thing you have in here? Well, I got this. And he looked at me and went, I think that'd be too mean. So that was out. Super random. Star Trek The Next Generation, The Kite. Brought to you by Avon Kids. You know, Avon, the clothing company. I don't know what they got into kites for. Does Avon even no, like, I don't know. I don't know how they got into pop culture kites. Anyone want to challenge me at Golden Girls trivia? This is Any Way You Slice It game, the test your knowledge of the Golden Girls trivia with 4 different styles of gameplay. The character cards, plastic tokens. Yeah. What do I do with this? What do I do with any of this? But yeah, like, I don't think it gets weirder. Of all the things I found in the back, I don't think it gets weirder than Golden Girls card trivia game centered around pie. So, like, it's like Trivial Pursuit, but nothing but Golden Girls. I'm sure that's someone. I'm sure that's for someone. Oh, well. Alright, so that is another look into life inside a collector shop like this. The back room, basically, for anyone who's ever curious, is a frightening place where I guarantee you, even the owner never knows entirely what is back there. I'm here 4 days out of the week. I put the back room together. I didn't know a lot of this stuff was back there. But I have it now, and now I got to figure out what to do with it, which is part of the drawback to cleaning out the back room is you find some hidden treasures, and then you got a whole other project trying to figure out what to do with the rest of it. But it's got to go somewhere, because it could all potentially sell, and when the times are quiet, you need all the sales you can get. So, that is the life of a store in Florida out of season. But for now, that is also the toy store life. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.